Information leader. SAfm 104 to 107.
My guest is Luma Spies, who's the educational practitioner at EduBlocks. Hello, Luma.
Good afternoon, Shadow, and all the listeners.
Afternoon to you. And you suggesting that we shouldn't just let kids play over this Christmas season. We should let them play while being educated.
Shadow, all play should be educational.
Okay.
So a child needs to be kept busy with things that keeps their brain busy, but also that's fun and that can take their minds off school and let them de-stress, but also keep the brain going with interesting exercises.
And you suggest that this play is important to keep the cognitive skills updated, if you like.
Yes, very much. It's very important for a child to keep their processing speed going, for them to learn faster, work on their visual memory, their auditory memory, getting the working memory going. You know, the whole engine of learning, get that engine working faster so that when school starts in January, they are still in the learning mode.
Okay, so, because then if they don't continue to do that, then they lag behind when school opens.
Exactly, especially with children who struggles a little bit with schoolwork. When they lag behind during the December holidays, it takes them longer to really get into schoolwork again during January.
So when we talk cognitive skills, what are we talking about?
We're talking about all the mental skills that are used to process the acquiring of knowledge. So you need concentration, you need perception, you need logical thinking to think in a certain order. And then also you need all the different kinds of memories. You need short-term memory, long-term memory, visual memory, auditory memory, remembering things in a specific order, which we call sequential memory.
Mm-hmm.
You need working memory to think very fast and on your feet the whole time. So these are the cognitive skills that you need to really succeed in school to do better.
Is there a way of measuring if the child has enough or has developed cognitive skills or not?
Yes. At the EduBlocks clinics, we do assessments of cognitive skills, and then we look at where does a child lack or where's their strong points, and then we can advise parents what would be the best route to help their child achieve their best ability.
But before the parent brings the child, I mean, they must have seen something. They must have noticed something about the child. What are telltale signs that parents can look for before they even come to you to understand whether the child is doing well or not?
You can look at things as how fast they take to do their schoolwork. For a lot of kids, they just work very, very slowly to get things done. Mm. And that's one of the first telltale signs you can look at. The other thing is when a child reads to you. I know a lot of parents don't always have the time to sit with their children so they can read to them. But when a child reads to you, it needs to be fluent. They don't need to hesitate or kind of sound the words out before they say it. It needs to go fluently. So that's another one. Then also reversals of letters, B's and D's, P's and Q's, T's and F's. Those little things you can also pick up. And then most of the time, the teacher would tell the parents the child lacks concentration or they don't listen to what they say in class or they struggle to write down from the board. Those little things are usually the telltale signs that something somewhere is not where it should be.
So what do you offer at EduBlocks?
We offer reading classes with spelling in between. We do comprehension activities and also maths. But most of all, we focus on cognitive skills development. So a lot of times we get children who doesn't have a reading or a spelling or a maths problem, but they have problems to provide their work in a certain time, or they can't do the work as fast as it should be, or with as much detail as it should be, or they struggle to listen. So we focus on the cognitive skills first, and then we do reading, spelling, comprehension, or maths exercises with it.
Now, you mentioned maths, and a lot of us kind of have a mental block when it comes to mathematics. How can parents, and I don't know if you offer any kind of games that parents can play with their children or let their children play with that would help, overcome that mental block that we all have and change our attitude when it comes to mathematics?
Yes. A lot of times the mathematical problem goes back to a logical thinking problem.
Mm-hmm.
So things that you can do is build puzzles with your children. Then look for things on the internet, like connecting dot-to-dot pictures, coloring pictures, all these, a jigsaw puzzle, a crossword puzzle, doing maze games. These are all on the internet that you can do. Also count with your children. When you go on a long road trip, a lot of times the kids get bored and you don't always know what to do with them. Let them count. Let them count all the blue cars and the white cars and the black cars and do little things like that, which keep the children busy, but it also keeps their minds going. And then you can do basic maths problems with what's around you.
And do you then have something that will probably be online, because a lot of our children have cell phones and it's difficult to even get them to count the cars as we drive. They're busy with all these new technology programs. So do you have an app or something that they can use online to keep them interested?
At the moment, we don't have an app for that, but there is a EduBlock's online program coming out at the end of February 2017 that is perfect for developmental skills, and even for children with reading problems. There's a reading program then too, which they can do on their iPads or on their cell phones, which is an activity which is interesting for them, but also develop these important skills.
So what about the spelling games that you have?
We've got different spelling games going on. Spelling also has to do with logical thinking. It has to do with perception, sequential memory, remembering things in a specific order. And for that, you can do, most of the cell phones have these memory games on it. So you remember the things in order and pack them back. And those are perfect, and it works so well for children to develop these little skills and keep them busy.
And board games are still very relevant, right? As you said, building puzzles and that sort of thing. So a lot of board games, snakes and ladders and that kind of thing?
Snakes and ladders, Scrabble. I know at the clinic at the moment we've got the end of year thing going, and we play Scrabble with the kids, and they love it. There's quite a few of them who ask where can they buy the game, because it's something to learn spelling with, but they also enjoy it so much. And especially for a family. During December is family time. Get everybody around the table, play some Monopoly, which is very important for money skills and getting that math going, and play some Scrabble, get the spelling skills, and I know Mom and Dad would also benefit from it.
Yeah, well, spelling bee, maybe play spelling bee and that sort of thing. Well, we're going to give you a website, and hopefully people can go onto it and just look at what you offer in more detail. But I know you said, people can also customize their own games and that sort of thing on your website, right?
Yes, on the website there's quite a few different activities that we offer. So there's some printable activities on there that you can look at. And then there's interesting articles on the website that would also help a parent to get more knowledge about what is learning, and especially for kids studying for exams, there's lots of help that could really give a parent more information, especially if they're not close to a clinic. They can use the website for some information.
And don't think every child who has a problem has ADHD, right?
Yes, definitely. Definitely. It's very easy to say a child can't concentrate when it's actually a visual memory problem, for instance, when they can just not remember what they saw. They can't remember what they heard. So a lot of times it looks like ADHD or ADAD because the child can't sit still or they avoid doing the work, but then the actual problem is somewhere else.
Well, Luma Spies, thank you so much for joining us. Give us that website, please.
The website is www.edublox, that's edublox.co.za.
Have a great holiday. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Shadow. Same to you.
Bye-bye, Luma.
Bye.
Bye. When we come back, and that website you've just heard, and I think it's important over this season to have still some kind of discipline and get the kids to get busy away from television, away from the cell phones and that sort of thing. When we come back, we speak with Tlai Tafungeni, who introduces us to a kids' holiday club, Dlala Nati.
Join the conversation this Thursday on Top Billing as Ricky Rick shares his ideal family festivities. Terry Peto scores a Best Supporting Actress nomination for A United Kingdom. Mubango's Zweli Dube introduces the rock his success is built on, his mom. And Ntando Kunene reveals a Miss World wardrobe to knock the globe off its axis. Catch Top Billing this Thursday night at 8 on SABC3.
107.1, the home of SAfm in Seapoint. SAfm, South Africa's news and information leader.
Twaita Fungeni is the founder of Dlala Nati Kids Club. Hello, Twaita.
Hi, Mam Shadow Nijani.
Siphileni na?
You were fine.
Oh, good. Twaita, anyone who does things with children is special for me because I don't think we do enough. I don't think we do enough